It's time for the girl to have a husband. After the Spring Festival, Wang Lianfang had one more thing to do. As soon as he went out for a meeting, he asked people everywhere, Yumi must have a husband. The girl is getting older and older, and it is too inconvenient to stay in the village. Although urgent, Wang Lianfang told himself that ordinary family is not qualified. If a girl gets married underneath, the kid being grieved is secondary, but the parents will be the embarrassed ones. According to Wang Lianfang's wishes, it is still necessary to find an official from a well-matched family. With power in their hands, such a family's strength will not be compromised. Wang Lianfang did find out a few in the neighboring villages. Wang Lianfang asked Guifang to send a message to Yumi, but there was no response from Yumi. Wang Lianfang could guess that this girl, Yumi, was very angry. With a dad like him, she would definitely not trust a man from an official family. Later, it was Secretary Peng from Peng village who spoke. The Cooper's family in the village had a third kid. As soon as Wang Lianfang heard Cooper and third, he stopped answering. He couldn't be from a decent and powerful family. Secretary Peng explained, "It's the one who passed the pilot test the year before last. There were only 4 in the county." Wang Lianfang bit his lower lip and hissed, "This is unusual. If he had a pilot as his son-in-law, he, Wang Lianfang, would be like having been in the sky. Wang Lianfang's casual pee would be like a day's rain." Wang Lianfang immediately sent a photo of Yumi to Secretary Peng. Secretary Peng took the photo and said, "She is a beauty." Wang Lianfang said, "To say that the most beautiful is my third child." Secretary Peng smiled silently and said, "The third child is still too young." The third kid of the Cooper returned a letter to Secretary Peng. The letter and his photo passed through the hands of Wang Lianfang and Shi Guifang and were finally pressed under Yumi's pillow. The young man's name is Peng Guoliang, and he already has an advantage in terms of his name, because he's a pilot, so using the pillar of the country as his name does not appear to be false or empty. Instead, he has a real side, standing up to the sky and standing on the ground. It sounds unusual. Judging from the photo, Peng Guoliang does not look good. Thin, somewhat old-looking, with squinting eyes and thick eyelids. It's hard to see what his eyes are capable of, but he can actually recognize the way home in the sky. His lips are tightly pursed, and because of doing it too hard, the problem of protruding front teeth is highlighted. Even though it is a frontal view, the arched mouth can still be seen. However, Peng Guoliang was wearing a flight suit, and the photo was taken at the airport, so there was something unimaginable about the heroism in the picture. There's a silver eagle, that is, an airplane, next to Peng Guoliang. The backdrop is quite easy to activate people's imagination. Yumi's mind has gone beyond Peng Guoliang's shortcomings in appearance, and most of her confidence has gone away. She has low self-esteem and feels ashamed of herself for no reason. After all, he's a person who goes to heaven and earth. Yumi couldn't wait to seal the marriage in a swoop. Peng Guoliang wrote his address down to the smallest unit on the envelope, and his meaning was already clear. Yumi knew that her lifelong destiny now depended entirely on her reply. This matter is quite big and cannot be taken lightly. Yumi originally planned to go to the town to take a few more photos, but after thinking about it, Peng Guoliang was willing to write a reply to Party Secretary Peng explaining that he was satisfied with his appearance and there was no need to make extra contributions. The problem now is the letter itself. Peng Guoliang's letter was quite vague. Although his tone was loud, it seemed that he was not very confident. He only emphasized that he was very affectionate for his hometown, and then emphasized that he wanted to fly to his hometown and see the people in his hometown on the plane. The most explicit sentence was just to praise Uncle Peng and said, he absolutely trusts the person who was liked by Uncle Peng. However, in the end, the words were not exposed, and they were not completely implemented in Yumi. Therefore, it cannot be broken by Yumi as soon as it comes up. That's too cheap. Not good. It would be even worse without saying anything, because if Peng Guoliang misunderstood, the trouble would be big, and there would be no room for recovery. Peng Guoliang is right in front of her, but after all, he is far away. The long distance makes Yumi proud, but in the end, it is also a sad place. Yumi's letter was written in a very low-key manner. After much deliberation, Yumi decided to take a low-key approach. She introduced herself briefly, with that appropriate thumbs up. However, with a twist of her pen, Yumi said, I am not as good as you at all. You are in the sky, and only the first maiden in the sky can compare. I'm not as good as the first maiden, not as good looking as the first maiden. What Yumi said was not degrading at all. A person says that she is not as good looking as a fairy. After all, it is the right thing. At the end of the letter, Yumi said, I look at the sky every day now, during the day and at night. The sky is the same. There is only the sun during the day, and there is only the moon at night. The letter is already quite lyrical at this point, and the key is that all sentiments surged up in Yumi's chest out of nowhere. Solid, but empty, very tough, very tormenting. Looking at her own words, Yumi couldn't hold back her words and cried silently. Her heart was full of grievances. That's not what Yumi wanted to say. She really wanted Peng Guoliang to know how satisfied she was with this marriage. It would be great if someone could speak for her, explain everything clearly to Peng Guoliang, and let Peng Guoliang know what she was thinking. Yumi sealed the letter and sent it. Yumi was extra thoughtful when sending the letter. She left the address of one village primary school, care of teacher Gao Suqin. The letter was sent, but Yumi lost a lot of weight.